Hello, third graders. This is a recap on your assignment. We talked about different optical illusions that are pretty easy to do with just hand drawing. So if you don't want to have to use a ruler, we're going to go over what horizontal line drawing is. So I'm going to go over that now. And then I'm going to show you another type of optical illusion, which is just basically using a ruler to show depth and repeating the patterns over and over again. So that's the designs that we talked about. Okay, so first with horizontal line, obviously you're going to go horizontally. So you're going to pick a type of line to start with. So if you want a curved line like that, depending on how your curve looks, your design is going to look. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 bumps, then you would start at the left, of course. You would go up and down. You go up and down. You always want to pinch. Up and down, and then up, okay? When you continue that pattern, it creates an illusion of movement. You always want to stop in the point that you stopped at the last time, okay? When you do that, that area gets darker and creates negative space, empty space, and it creates that illusion that it is something disappearing, right? So you always want to have that dark connection there, right there. So since we're working in black and white, you're going to see a lot of movement, high contrast of colors. So if I just started doing this and making my line skinnier going up, it's going to automatically create an illusion there, okay? Right here, if I just continue this area and then connect in the same spot over and over again, whoops, then you're going to see obviously how much better the illusion is. So if you start at wider lines and go skinnier or skinnier to wider, it's going to change the perspective of that illusion of movement. All right. And you always want to fill in these sides too. It's a little different for me to draw on the computer than on paper. Now, if you are doing something like that, you always want to fill that like that and kind of draw a line down the middle. And look how different it looks now that I drew that line down the middle. So if you don't connect enough, I suggest making that line a little bit thicker. And look how cool that came out. It came out a little bit better. Same thing with here. And it kind of looks like a rainbow or a crescent moon, but a rainbow doesn't connect to each part of the rainbow. It's just a rectangle pretty much bending. So you want to make sure you're showing that connection point right there. All right, if you want to do a reverse, you would start reversing it right here. And you would connect those lines like that. And then you just fill it in. You always want to fill it right to that point right there. And then you just continue the pattern. Connect, connect, connect. And naturally, your hand is going to just go with the flow. And it's going to create either this wide design or you're going to make this design a little different. So you're going to think about how you're going to add an interesting illusion for one of those spaces. So this is just one example. So if I filled black and white, which is what I did when we talked about it in class, then that's going to give a different effect as if more depth in it because the contrast is different. If you leave it like that, this is okay too. Okay. Now, how do we add another kind of op art to this? Well, we talked about lines, straight lines. You would use a ruler. I'm not using a ruler right now. I'm just doing the best I can to hand draw it. But if you want to add lines, I would try to draw them as straight as possible with the ruler. And if you want these lines to look like they're getting skinnier, then you would have to show them like slanting maybe, like this. So if they start at this point here, and then you want to go from here to here, once again, you have to have everything meeting at one point.